Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am so excited about today's reading because we are diving deep into soul bonds. So if you're curious about the truth of your soul bond, you are absolutely in the right place. As always, this is a safe and loving space, so please only take what resonates and leave the rest. This reading is timeless, so whenever you're watching this, the message is meant for you. We're going to uncover some potentially hidden aspects of your connection, so get ready for some serious insights, okay? I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. So, we have 4 beautiful crystal piles to choose from. First up, we have the smoky quartz butterfly, which is all about releasing burdens and embracing change, kind of flowing into a new you. Then we have the labradorite sun, which is super transformative, like unveiling hidden depths and igniting your potential. Next is the jade raw crystal, which is focused on illuminating your path, seeking harmony, and cultivating growth. And finally, we have the peridot palm stone. This one is all about nurturing your soul, healing wounds, and fostering connection. I'm obsessed. Okay, so trust your intuition in choosing which pile you're most drawn to. There's absolutely no pressure, and it's totally okay if you're pulled to more than one pile. Take a moment to close your eyes and set the intention to receive the message that's for your highest good. Take a deep breath, trust yourself, and go with what feels right. I'm so excited for you. Out is the King of Swords. Oh, he's here to tell you something, and it's not going to be sugar-coated. Now, the King of Swords, he's all about truth, clarity, and intellectual power. He sees things as they are, cuts through the illusions, and isn't afraid to speak his mind. He represents someone who is very logical, very strategic, and very honest, sometimes brutally so. So, if you're drawn to this pile, you're either embodying this energy yourself, or you're about to encounter someone who does. Maybe both, right? This king is not messing around, you know. He's not swayed by emotions or sentimentality. He's all about facts, evidence, and making decisions based on what's real, not what you want to be real. So, this could indicate that you're in a situation where you need to be very clear-headed and objective. Maybe you're facing a difficult decision and need to weigh the pros and cons without letting your feelings cloud your judgment. Or you're dealing with someone who is very detached and analytical, and you need to be prepared for their directness, you know. Think about it. Have you been avoiding a difficult conversation? Are you holding back from expressing your truth because you're afraid of hurting someone's feelings? The King of Swords is urging you to be honest, even if it's uncomfortable. It's time to cut through the noise and get to the heart of the matter. Now, this isn't about being mean or insensitive, of course. It's about being clear, concise, and truthful. Because sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is to tell someone the truth, even if it's not what they want to hear, right? Yeah, you know what I mean. Now, remember our theme, releasing burdens and embracing change. The King of Swords can help you do just that by giving you the courage to speak your truth and set boundaries. Maybe there's a situation in your life where you've been letting someone take advantage of you. Or perhaps you've been holding on to a belief or a pattern that no longer serves you. The King of Swords is here to help you break free from those limitations, you know. But here's where it gets really interesting, because next we have Justice. Justice is all about balance, fairness, and karmic retribution. This card is all about cause and effect. What you put out into the universe comes back to you. So with the King of Swords and Justice together, it's like the universe is saying, okay, it's time to face the consequences of your actions or someone else's. This could indicate a legal matter that needs to be resolved, or a situation where you're seeking fairness and equality. Maybe you're involved in a dispute and you want to see justice served. Or It could be about holding yourself accountable for your own choices and behaviors, right? But think about it this way. Justice isn't just about punishment. It's about finding balance and harmony. It's about making sure that everyone is treated fairly and that wrongs are righted. So this could also indicate a time of reward and recognition for your hard work and dedication, right? If you've been putting in the effort and doing the right thing, the universe is going to acknowledge that. You're going to get what you deserve. Now, with the King of Swords influencing justice, it's like truth and clarity are essential for finding balance. You can't achieve justice if you're not willing to look at the facts objectively and make decisions based on what's fair and right. The King's energy is pushing you to be honest and impartial, to see things from all perspectives, and to make choices that are aligned with your highest good, But here's the thing. Justice can also be a harsh mistress. If you've been avoiding responsibility or trying to get away with something, this card is a warning that your actions will have consequences. You can't escape karma. What you sow, you shall reap, right? Think about the areas in your life where you might be out of balance. Are you being honest with yourself and others? Are you treating people fairly? Are you taking responsibility for your actions? Justice is calling you to examine your conscience and make amends where necessary. And remember that smoky quartz energy, releasing burdens. Justice can help you release the burden of guilt or resentment by resolving conflicts and finding closure. It's about letting go of the past and moving forward with a clear conscience. Okay, so we have the King of Swords bringing truth and clarity, and justice demanding fairness and balance. But here's where it gets a little tricky, because we also have the Five of Swords. Oof. This card often represents conflict, defeat, and a sense of loss. It shows someone who has won a battle, but at what cost? They're standing alone, holding the swords, but there's no joy or satisfaction in their victory. Everyone else is walking away dejected, The Five of Swords can indicate a situation where someone is trying to win at all costs, even if it means hurting others or sacrificing their own integrity. It can represent a win-lose scenario where someone comes out on top, but everyone else suffers. Or it could be about feeling defeated and humiliated after a conflict, right? Now, with the King of Swords and justice in the mix, the Five of Swords could be a warning about the potential consequences of being too aggressive or ruthless in your pursuit of truth and justice. The King's clarity can be a powerful tool, but if it's wielded without compassion or empathy, it can lead to conflict and resentment. And justice, while fair, can sometimes feel harsh, especially if you're on the receiving end of a difficult judgment. So, the Five of Swords is reminding you to be mindful of your approach and to consider the impact of your actions on others, right? But here's another way to look at it. The Five of Swords can also represent the aftermath of a necessary conflict. Sometimes, you have to stand up for yourself and fight for what you believe in, even if it means facing opposition and criticism. And sometimes, you might win the battle, but still feel a sense of loss or regret. Maybe you had to say something that hurt someone's feelings, or maybe you had to make a difficult decision that had negative consequences. The Five of Swords is acknowledging that those situations are tough, and it's okay to feel conflicted, But the key is to learn from the experience and move forward. The Five of Swords isn't about dwelling on the past or wallowing in self-pity. It's about recognizing the lessons you can learn from the conflict and using that knowledge to make better choices in the future. It's about understanding that sometimes you have to lose a battle to win the war, right? So, how does this all tie together? The King of Swords is urging you to be honest and clear. Justice is demanding fairness and balance, and the Five of Swords is warning you about the potential consequences of conflict, but also offering an opportunity for growth. It's like the universe is saying, okay, it's time to face the truth, seek justice, and be prepared for the challenges that may arise, but also be open to learning and evolving. Maybe you're in a situation where you need to confront someone about their behavior. The King of Swords is giving you the courage to speak your mind, but justice is reminding you to be fair and impartial. And the Five of Swords is warning you that the conversation might not go smoothly, and there could be some hurt feelings involved. But if you approach the situation with honesty, integrity, and a willingness to listen, you can navigate the conflict and come out stronger on the other side, right? Or maybe you're dealing with a legal matter that needs to be resolved. The King of Swords is helping you gather the facts and present your case clearly. Justice is ensuring that the outcome is fair. And the Five of Swords is preparing you for the possibility that you might not get everything you want, but you can still learn from the experience and move forward with grace. And remember our theme of releasing burdens. The Five of Swords can actually represent the release of a burden, even if it feels like a defeat at first. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is to let go of a conflict or a situation that is causing you stress and anxiety. Even if it feels like you're losing, you might actually be freeing yourself from a toxic situation, right? You're choosing your peace over being right. So overall, this combination of cards is telling you to be honest, fair, and courageous in the face of challenges. It's about speaking your truth, seeking justice, and learning from your experiences, even the difficult ones. And it's about releasing burdens and embracing change, even if it means facing conflict and discomfort along the way, you know. With that smoky quartz energy, it's all about transmuting negative energy into positive, releasing what doesn't serve you, and allowing yourself to flow with the changes that are coming your way. It's going to be okay. Okay, so that's the overall vibe I'm getting from these cards. But let's dive a little deeper into each one and see what else we can uncover, shall we? Okay, so wow, that's a lot, right? King of Swords, Justice, Five of Swords. Heavy energy, but okay, after all that, we have the Three of Wands. Ah, that feels a little lighter, doesn't it? Like a breath of fresh air, almost. So the Three of Wands, what's he all about? Well, this card is all about expansion, vision, and looking to the future, right? You see that figure standing there, looking out at the ships on the water. He's not just watching. He's planning, he's strategizing, he's thinking about the possibilities, you know? So how does this fit in with everything else we've got going on? Well, remember the King of Swords. He's all about truth and clarity, right? He cuts through the BS and sees things as they are. So with the Three of Wands coming in now, it's like, okay, you've faced the truth. You've gained clarity. Now what are you going to do with it, you know? It's time to take that knowledge and use it to build something new, to expand your horizons. Maybe the King of Swords revealed a truth about yourself or a situation that you've been avoiding. Maybe you realize that you're not happy in your current job or that you're in a relationship that's not serving you. The Three of Wands is saying, okay, now that you know this, what are your next steps? What's your vision for the future? How can you create a life that's more aligned with your truth, you know? It's like, don't just sit there and wallow in the truth. Use it as a springboard to launch yourself into something better. And think about it in terms of our theme, releasing burdens and embracing change. The Three of Wands is all about embracing change, about stepping outside your comfort zone and exploring new possibilities, right? It's about releasing the burden of the past and focusing on creating a brighter future. Now, what about justice? How does the Three of Wands tie into that? Well, justice is all about fairness, balance, and karmic retribution, right? So maybe you've been fighting for justice in a particular situation. Maybe you've been trying to right a wrong, or maybe you've been seeking some kind of resolution, right? The Three of Wands is saying that once you've achieved that justice, once you've found that balance, it's time to expand your horizons. It's time to take what you've learned and use it to create something bigger and better. Like maybe you've been involved in a legal battle and you've finally won. Justice has been served. The Three of Wands is saying, okay, now that that's over, what's next? How can you use this experience to help others? How can you use your knowledge to create positive change in the world? You know, it's not just about celebrating your victory. It's about using your experience to build a better future for yourself and for others. Or maybe you've been working hard to achieve a certain goal and you've finally reached it. You've earned your just reward. The Three of Wands is saying, okay, now that you've achieved this, what's your next goal? How can you continue to grow and expand your horizons? How can you use your success to inspire others to achieve their own goals? It's all about momentum, about keeping the energy flowing. And remember that smoky quartz energy, that flowing energy. It's all about being open to new possibilities, about being willing to adapt and change as needed. The Three of Wands is perfectly aligned with that energy, you know. It's about embracing the unknown and trusting that the universe is guiding you towards something amazing. Now, let's talk about the Five of Swords. Oof, that card can be a little tricky, right? It represents conflict, defeat, and a sense of loss. So, how does the Three of Wands help us navigate that energy? Well, the Five of Swords often shows up when we've been in a situation where someone is trying to win at all costs, even if it means hurting others or sacrificing their own integrity. It can represent a win-lose scenario where someone comes out on top, but everyone else suffers, right? The Three of Wands is like a reminder that even in the midst of conflict, even in the face of defeat, there's always hope for the future. It's about not getting bogged down in the negativity, about not letting the conflict define you. It's about recognizing that even though you might have lost a battle, you can still win the war, right? The Three of Wands is encouraging you to take a step back from the conflict, to look at the bigger picture, and to start planning for a better future. It's about using the lessons you've learned from the conflict to make wiser choices in the future. It's about understanding that sometimes the best way to win is to walk away, to disengage from the negativity, and to focus on creating something positive. Like, maybe you've been in a toxic relationship where you've been constantly fighting and arguing. The Five of Swords is representing the pain and the loss that you've experienced. The Three of Wands is saying, okay, it's time to move on. It's time to focus on your own happiness and well-being. It's time to create a life that's filled with love, joy, and abundance. You know, it's about recognizing that you deserve better and taking steps to create that better future for yourself. Or maybe you've been in a work environment where there's been a lot of backstabbing and competition. The Five of Swords is representing the stress and the anxiety that you've been feeling. The Three of Wands is saying, okay, it's time to explore new opportunities. It's time to find a job that's more aligned with your values and your passions. It's time to create a work environment where you feel supported, appreciated, and valued. The Three of Wands is all about taking control of your future, about not letting the past define you, and about creating a life that's filled with purpose and meaning, you know. It's about recognizing that you have the power to create your own reality and that you deserve to be happy and fulfilled. So with all these cards together, it's like the universe is saying, okay, you've faced the truth, you've sought justice, you've navigated conflict. Now it's time to expand your horizons and create a brighter future. The King of Swords gave you the clarity, justice gave you the balance, the Five of Swords gave you the lessons, and the Three of Wands is giving you the vision and the courage to move forward, right? This could mean starting a new business, pursuing a new career path, traveling to a new country, or even just taking a class to learn a new skill. The possibilities are endless, you know. The key is to be open to new experiences, to be willing to take risks, and to trust that the universe is supporting you every step of the way. And remember, our theme is releasing burdens and embracing change. The Three of Wands is all about embracing change, about stepping outside your comfort zone, and about releasing the burdens of the past. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you and embracing the exciting possibilities that lie ahead. So, with that smoky quartz energy, it's like you're being guided to release any fears or doubts that are holding you back and to trust that you have the power to create the life you've always dreamed of. It's about flowing with the changes that are coming your way and knowing that everything is happening for your highest good. The Three of Wands is a powerful reminder that you are the architect of your own destiny and that you have the ability to create a life that's filled with purpose, meaning, and joy. It's time to step into your power, to embrace your potential, and to create the future you've always envisioned. Okay, so that's kind of how I see the Three of Wands playing into all of this. But wow, I am super curious to see what the next card is going to bring because this is like a really interesting story unfolding here, right? Okay, so after all of that, wow, we get the world, which is major, right? It's like the end, but in the best possible way, you know? So the world, this card is all about completion, accomplishment, integration. It's that feeling of like, you've made it, You've gone through all the trials and tribulations, and you've come out on the other side stronger, wiser, and more whole. It's the end of a cycle, but it's also the beginning of something new, right? So I'm already feeling like this could be about the whole soul bond thing coming full circle, but let's dig a little deeper, okay? So remember the King of Swords. He's all about truth and clarity. With the world showing up now, it's like you've finally seen the truth about this situation, about this soul bond, whatever it is, right? The King of Swords has helped you cut through the illusions and see things as they really are. And now, with the world, you're able to integrate that truth into your understanding of yourself and your life, It's like you can't reach that sense of completion, that feeling of wholeness, until you've faced the truth, right? So the King of Swords was like the necessary step to get here. Maybe the truth was that this soul bond wasn't what you thought it was, Maybe it was never meant to be a long-term romantic relationship, or maybe it was just meant to teach you certain lessons. Whatever the truth is, the King of Swords helped you see it, and now the world is helping you accept it and move on, if that makes sense. Or maybe the King of Swords revealed a truth about yourself within this bond, like maybe you realized that you were settling for less than you deserve, or that you were repeating old patterns. The world is saying that you're now ready to break free from those patterns and create a new reality for yourself, one that's more aligned with your truth, And then we have justice, right? All about fairness and balance. So with the world, it's like you've finally achieved a sense of justice in this situation. Maybe you've been fighting for something, maybe you've been trying to right a wrong, or maybe you've just been seeking some kind of resolution. The world is saying that you've reached that point, You've found that balance, you've achieved that sense of fairness, and you can finally move forward with a clear conscience. It's like karma has been served, and now you're free to enjoy the rewards, whatever they may be. But also, justice can be about holding yourself accountable, right? So maybe the world is showing up because you've finally taken responsibility for your own actions in this situation, and you've made amends where necessary. You've learned from your mistakes, and you're ready to move forward with integrity and compassion. It's like you've cleared your karmic debt, and now you're free to create a new chapter in your life, And remember the smoky quartz butterfly, flowing, releasing burdens. Like justice and the world together, it is all about flowing towards the right resolution, and now it's come to you, right? This is just so exciting. Now let's talk about the Five of Swords. Oof, that card can be a little tough, right? It represents conflict and defeat and a sense of loss. So how does the world help us with that? Well, the Five of Swords often shows up when we've been in a situation where there's been a lot of conflict or negativity. It can represent a win-lose scenario where someone comes out on top, but everyone else suffers, The world is like a reminder that even in the midst of conflict, even in the face of defeat, there's always the possibility of completion and wholeness. It's about recognizing that even though you might have experienced some pain or loss, you can still come out on the other side stronger and wiser, The world is saying that you've learned the lessons you needed to learn from the conflict, and you're now ready to integrate those lessons into your understanding of yourself and your life. It's about forgiving yourself and others, letting go of any resentment or bitterness, and moving forward with a sense of peace and acceptance. It's like you've turned the page, you've closed the chapter, and you're ready to start a new one, free from the baggage of the past, right? Maybe the Five of Swords represented a painful ending to this soul bond, or maybe it represented a conflict that you had with yourself. The world is saying that you've now processed that pain, you've learned from that conflict, and you're ready to move on to something better, It's like you've released the burden of the past, and you're embracing the possibility of a brighter future. And remember the Three of Wands, right? Expansion, vision, looking to the future. So you've faced the truth, you've sought justice, you've navigated conflict, and now you've reached a sense of completion with the world. The Three of Wands is saying, okay, now that you've achieved this, what's next? How can you use this experience to expand your horizons and create a brighter future for yourself? It's about taking what you've learned from this soul bond, from all these experiences, and using it to build something new, something that's more aligned with your values and your passions. The world is like a launching pad, you know? It's the end of one chapter, but it's also the beginning of another. The Three of Wands is encouraging you to step out into the world with confidence and excitement, knowing that you have the power to create the life you've always dreamed of. It's about embracing new opportunities, taking risks, and trusting that the universe is supporting you every step of the way, you know? Okay, so how does this all tie together with the idea of a soul bond? Well, I think the world could be indicating that you're reaching the end of a particular phase in your soul bond journey, right? Maybe you've learned the lessons you needed to learn from this person, and you're ready to move on to something new. Or maybe you're reaching a new level of understanding and connection with this person, a level of completion and wholeness that you haven't experienced before. It could also mean that this soul bond has served its purpose, and it's time to release it with love and gratitude, you know. Sometimes, soul bonds are meant to be temporary, to help us grow and evolve in certain ways. The world is saying that you've gotten everything you needed from this bond, and it's now time to move on to new experiences and new connections. It's like you've completed the cycle, and you're ready to start a new one, free from any attachments or obligations to the past. But here's another way to look at it. The world can also represent a deep sense of union and harmony with another person, a feeling of being completely aligned and connected on all levels, right? So, maybe this soul bond is actually reaching its full potential, and you're experiencing a level of love and intimacy that you've never known before. The world is saying that you've found your soulmate, your twin flame, your perfect partner, and you're ready to embark on a lifelong journey of love and growth together. It's like you've found your missing piece, you've completed the puzzle, and you're now whole and complete in each other's arms, you know? And remember our theme of releasing burdens and embracing change. The world is all about embracing change, about stepping into a new phase of your life, and about releasing any burdens that are holding you back, right? It's about letting go of the past, forgiving yourself and others, and moving forward with a sense of hope and excitement for the future. With that smoky quartz energy, it's like you're being guided to release any fears or doubts that are preventing you from experiencing the fullness of life. So overall, this combination of cards is telling you that you're on the verge of something amazing, something transformative, something that will bring you a deep sense of joy and fulfillment, you know. Whether it's the completion of a cycle, the achievement of a goal, or the beginning of a new adventure, the world is saying that you're ready, you're prepared, and you're deserving of all the good things that are coming your way. You've faced the truth, you've sought justice, you've navigated conflict, you've expanded your horizons, and now you're ready to step into your power and create the life you've always dreamed of. This card, it is like the end of the story, but I know we have more cards to come. So maybe, what if it's not the end, but instead, it means the world, the entire world, is yours for the taking. Like, you are prepared, and everything that is out there is ready for you to come and receive it. Okay, wow, the pressure is on for these next cards. I am so ready to see what comes next. Okay, so, after the world, which feels so good, so complete, we pull the Devil. Oh, right? It's like, wait, what? How did we get here? So the Devil card, it's all about, restrictions, right? Feeling trapped, feeling bound by something, whether it's a person, a situation, or even just your own limiting beliefs, you know. And with our theme being releasing burdens and embracing change, the Devil is like the ultimate burden, the thing that's keeping you from flowing, from moving forward. It brings this sense of something dark holding you back, and maybe a little voice that says, but I need this. I need this burden, you know, like it's a necessary evil. So how does this connect with the King of Swords? Well, remember he's all about truth and clarity, right? But what if that truth is being used against you, or even by you against yourself? Is there a truth that you're clinging to so tightly that it's actually trapping you? You know, maybe you're so focused on being right that you're not willing to be flexible or see other perspectives. Or maybe someone else is using the truth to manipulate you, to keep you in line. "I'm just being honest," they might say, but really, they're just trying to control you, you know? It's like the King of Swords can be a powerful force for good, but the devil is showing us the shadow side of that power, the potential for it to become rigid, controlling, and even oppressive. Are you wielding your truth like a weapon, or is someone doing that to you? Are you using logic to justify staying in a situation that's actually bad for you? Well, logically, I can't leave because, you know, and then you list all the reasons why you're stuck. The devil is asking you to question those reasons, to see if they're really as solid as you think they are. Maybe that King of Swords energy needs to soften a little, you know? And then we have justice. So, is the devil showing up because you feel trapped by some kind of karmic debt? Like, do you feel like you're being punished for past mistakes, or that you're stuck in a cycle of negative consequences? Or maybe you feel like you're fighting for justice, but the system is rigged against you, you know? Like you're doing everything right, but you're still not getting the outcome you deserve. The devil can represent that feeling of being trapped by unfair systems, by power structures that are beyond your control. It's like you're trying to play by the rules, but the rules are designed to keep you down, right? But also, the devil can be about imbalance, you know. Like, are you giving too much of yourself to others, to a job, to a cause, and neglecting your own needs? Are you sacrificing your own happiness for the sake of someone else's? The devil is a reminder that true justice starts with yourself, with treating yourself with kindness and respect. You can't fight for justice in the world if you're not first being just to yourself, you know. Are you in a codependent relationship where you feel obligated to fix someone else's problems? Are you carrying burdens that aren't yours to carry? The devil is urging you to break free from those chains, to reclaim your power and prioritize your own well-being. Sometimes, justice means saying no, setting boundaries, and walking away from situations that are draining you. You know what I mean. Now let's look at the Five of Swords. This is where it gets interesting. So, the devil, after all that conflict, are you clinging to a win that's actually keeping you stuck? Like, did you win a battle, but now you're defined by that battle? The devil can show up when you're so focused on proving yourself right, on being the winner, that you're actually trapping yourself in a cycle of conflict and resentment. It's like you're holding on to the swords, but they're weighing you down, you know. You can't move forward because you're too busy defending your past victories. Or maybe you're still feeling the sting of defeat from the Five of Swords, and the devil is representing that feeling of being trapped by your past failures. You're so afraid of failing again that you're not willing to take any risks, to step outside your comfort zone. The devil is reminding you that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone to success. You can't let your past mistakes define you, you know? You have to learn from them and move on. But even deeper, maybe the devil is about ego. The Five of Swords can be about ego getting in the way of everything. So, is your ego trapping you? Is your pride keeping you from admitting you're wrong, from asking for help, from letting go of a conflict? The devil is asking you to humble yourself, to surrender your ego, and to recognize that true strength comes from vulnerability, not from stubbornness, you know. Okay, so what about the Three of Wands? How does the devil play into that whole expansion and future vision thing? Well, maybe you're afraid to step into that future, you know. Maybe you're comfortable in your current situation, even if it's not ideal because it's familiar. The devil can represent that fear of the unknown, that resistance to change. It's like, you know you could have more, you know you could be happier, but you're afraid to take the leap, to leave your comfort zone. So you stay in this devil's bargain, where you're settling for less than you deserve, but at least you feel safe, you know? But also, maybe the devil is the fear of expansion. The Three of Wands is about putting yourself out there, taking risks, exploring new possibilities. The devil is like that little voice in your head saying, "Don't do it. You're not good enough. You're going to fail." Stay where it's safe. It's that self-sabotaging voice that keeps you from reaching your full potential, you know? But also, it could be fear of the unknown with your soul bond. What if expanding means leaving the bond behind, or changing it in ways you can't imagine? The devil is here to say that what is familiar is not always what is best. Maybe you're clinging to this bond because you're afraid of what will happen if you let it go. But the devil is urging you to trust that you're strong enough to handle whatever comes your way. Maybe that expansion and new future is what is going to truly free you. And finally, the world. After this feeling of completion, what's the devil doing here? Maybe the devil is the shadow side of completion, you know? Like you've achieved a goal, you've reached a certain level of success, but now you're afraid of losing it all. The devil can represent that fear of failure, that anxiety that everything's going to fall apart. It's like you're so busy trying to hold on to what you've achieved that you're not able to enjoy it, you know. Or maybe the devil is about the fear of losing control after having the world. Like, you've finally gotten everything you wanted, but now you're worried about someone taking it away from you. You become possessive, controlling, and paranoid, trying to protect what's yours. But in doing so, you actually push people away and create the very situation you're trying to avoid. The devil is a reminder that true freedom comes from letting go, from trusting that you're strong enough to handle whatever life throws your way, even if it means losing everything you've worked so hard for, you know. Maybe with that soul bond, you've reached a place of incredible union, but you're so scared of losing it that you start acting in ways that push your partner away. You become clingy, jealous, and controlling, and you end up sabotaging the very thing you're trying to protect. It's like the devil is here to say that true love is about freedom, about trusting that your connection is strong enough to withstand any challenges. You know, so tying it all back to the soul bond, the devil is asking you what unhealthy attachments are at play here. What fears are surfacing? Are you afraid of being alone? Are you afraid of commitment? Are you afraid of losing yourself in the relationship? The devil is urging you to confront those fears, to break free from those chains, and to create a relationship that's based on love, trust, and mutual respect, not on fear and control. It's about recognizing that you are a whole person and that you don't need another person to complete you, you know? You are already complete. This bond should be about enhancing each other's lives, not about filling a void or satisfying some unhealthy need. Okay, so, wow, the devil. Heavy card, right? But what's the way out of this? What's the key to breaking free from these chains? I am so ready to see what the next card reveals, because this is like a real turning point, you know. What is going to set us free? Okay, so after the devil, which is already so intense, we pull the tower. Oh my God, right? Like if the devil wasn't enough, now we're getting total upheaval, total chaos. I mean, the tower is all about sudden change, unexpected events, and the destruction of old structures, right? It's like everything you thought you knew is being shaken to its core. But it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? It can be a necessary destruction to clear the way for something new and better, you know? So with our theme being releasing burdens and embracing change, the tower is like the ultimate catalyst. It's forcing you to let go of what's no longer serving you, whether you're ready or not. So, how does this connect with the King of Swords? Well, remember he's all about truth and clarity. The tower is like amplifying that truth, making it impossible to ignore, you know? Maybe the King of Swords revealed a truth that was uncomfortable, but you could still kind of rationalize it or push it aside. The tower is saying, no, you can't ignore this anymore. It's time to face it head on. It's like a sudden revelation that shatters your illusions and forces you to see things as they really are, right? And sometimes that can feel really painful, but it's also incredibly liberating. Maybe you thought you were in control of a situation, but the tower is showing you that you're not. Maybe you were clinging to a belief that was holding you back, but the tower is destroying it so you can finally move forward, you know? Or maybe someone else was being dishonest with you, and the tower is revealing their true colors in a dramatic way. It's like bam, the truth is out and everything is changing, right? Okay, so then we have justice. The tower is all about disrupting the balance, right? So maybe you've been fighting for justice, but the tower is showing you that the system is even more corrupt than you thought. It's like the scales are being tipped in a completely unexpected way, and you have to adjust your strategy, you know. Or maybe you've been avoiding taking responsibility for your actions, and the tower is bringing the consequences crashing down on you. It's like karma is catching up with you in a big way, and you can't escape it, right? But also, the tower can be a form of cosmic justice, right? Like, maybe you've been wronged, and the tower is bringing down the people who hurt you. It's like the universe is finally stepping in to right the wrongs and restore balance, But it's not always pretty. It can be messy and chaotic, but ultimately it's for the best. And then we have the Five of Swords. The tower is all about destruction, right? Like total shake-up. So are you holding on to a win that's about to be taken away from you? Maybe you've been clinging to victory, but the tower is showing you that it was built on shaky foundations, and it's about to crumble. It's like you thought you had it all figured out, but the tower is proving you wrong, Or maybe you're still feeling the pain of a past defeat, and the tower is bringing those feelings to the surface in a powerful way. It's like you can't bury those emotions anymore. You have to deal with them, But also, the tower can be a way of clearing the slate after a conflict. Like, maybe you've been fighting for something, but the tower is destroying the whole battlefield so you can start fresh. It's like you have to let go of the past and move on to something new, even if it's scary, The tower is about total reset. Now, what about the Three of Wands? This is like, where are you planning to go? The tower is disrupting those plans in a major way, right? The tower is all about unexpected detours, right? So maybe you had a clear vision for the future, but the tower is throwing a wrench in those plans. It's like you have to change course and adapt to a new reality, Or maybe you were afraid to take risks, and the tower is forcing you to step outside your comfort zone. It's like you have no choice but to embrace the unknown and trust that things will work out, right? But also, the tower can be a catalyst for new opportunities. Like, maybe the destruction of your old plans is actually creating space for something even better to emerge. It's like the universe is clearing the way for you to pursue your true passions and create a life that's more aligned with your soul, And then we have the world. So, what's the tower doing here? Like, after all this completion? Well, maybe the tower is showing you that even the most complete cycles have to come to an end, It's like nothing lasts forever, and sometimes you have to let go of something that you love in order to make room for something new, right? Or maybe you thought you had reached a certain level of enlightenment, but the tower is shattering your illusions and showing you that there's still more to learn. It's like the journey never really ends, and you have to be willing to keep growing and evolving, But also, the tower can be a way of breaking free from old patterns and limitations that are preventing you from reaching your full potential. It's like you have to destroy the old structures in your life in order to create space for something truly amazing to emerge. And finally, the devil. The tower is like severing those unhealthy attachments, right? So if the devil is about feeling trapped and restricted, the tower is the force that breaks those chains, right? It's like you're being forced to confront your fears and release the things that are holding you back, even if it's painful, Or maybe you're in a toxic relationship, and the tower is bringing it to a sudden and dramatic end. It's like you can't stay in this situation any longer. You have to break free, even if it means facing some difficult truths, right? But also, the tower can be a way of reclaiming your power after feeling powerless for so long. It's like you're realizing that you have the strength to overcome any obstacle and create a life that's truly authentic and fulfilling, You are strong. So, tying it all back to the soul bond, the tower is asking you what needs to be destroyed in this relationship. What illusions need to be shattered? What unhealthy patterns need to be broken? The tower is urging you to embrace the chaos and trust that this upheaval is ultimately leading you towards a more authentic and fulfilling connection, whether that means staying together or moving on, right? Maybe the tower is showing you that this soul bond was never what you thought it was, and it's time to let it go. Or maybe the tower is forcing you to confront some difficult truths about yourself and your partner so you can create a stronger and more honest relationship. Either way, the tower is a catalyst for change, and it's ultimately leading you towards a path of greater freedom and authenticity. And remember our theme, releasing burdens and embracing change. Okay. So with that smoky quartz energy, it's like you're being guided to release any attachments to the outcome and trust that the universe is supporting you through this transformation. It's all about flowing with the changes and knowing that everything is happening for your highest good, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. The Tower is a powerful reminder that you are strong, you are resilient, and you have the power to create a life that's filled with joy, love, and purpose. It's time to embrace the chaos, trust the process, and step into your power, you know? You can do this. Okay, wow, the Tower. So intense, right? Like I'm almost scared to see what's coming next. But I also know that this is a really important turning point in your journey, and whatever card we pull next is going to offer some guidance on how to navigate this upheaval. So, let's do it. What's next? I'm so curious. Okay, deep breaths, right? After all that, after the Devil and the Tower, what do we get? We get Temperance. Oh, thank goodness, right? Finally some chill vibes, some healing energy. So Temperance, she's all about balance, harmony, moderation, finding that middle ground, you know. It's like after all the chaos and upheaval, you're being called to find your center, to integrate all these different parts of yourself and your experiences into a cohesive whole. It's about healing, it's about finding peace, it's about creating a sense of calm amidst the storm, you know. So, how does Temperance connect with the King of Swords? Well, remember he's all about truth and clarity. But sometimes that truth can be harsh, can be cutting, can be a little too black and white, right? Temperance is like softening that edge, adding a little water to the wine, you know? It's about finding a more compassionate and nuanced perspective. It's about understanding that truth isn't always simple, that there are shades of gray, that there are different sides to every story. It's about integrating the king's intellect with a little bit of heart, a little bit of intuition, you know? So maybe the King of Swords helped you see a truth about your soul bond, but it was a difficult truth to accept. Temperance is saying, okay, now it's time to find some balance, to find a way to integrate that truth into your understanding of the relationship without judgment or bitterness. It's about finding a more gentle and forgiving approach, both towards yourself and towards your partner, you know? And then we have Justice. So Temperance is all about balance, right? But Justice is also about balance, about fairness, about karmic retribution. So how do these two energies work together? Well, maybe Justice brought some difficult consequences your way. Maybe you had to face the music for some past actions. Temperance is saying, okay, now it's time to find some healing, to find a way to move forward without dwelling on the past or holding onto resentment, you know. It's about understanding that everyone makes mistakes, and that the most important thing is to learn from them and grow. It's about forgiving yourself and others and creating a more harmonious future, you know? It is so about moving forward. And then, the Five of Swords. Oof. That card can be so tricky, right? It represents conflict, defeat, and a sense of loss. So, Temperance is like the ultimate antidote to that energy. It's about finding peace after the storm, about healing the wounds of conflict, about letting go of the need to be right or to win, you know. It's about recognizing that sometimes the best thing you can do is to walk away, to disengage from the negativity, and to focus on creating a more harmonious environment for yourself and others. It's about finding compassion for those who have hurt you, even if they don't deserve it, you know. It's about understanding that everyone is fighting their own battles, and that sometimes the best way to heal is to offer forgiveness and understanding. You don't have to condone their behavior, but you can still release the anger and resentment that's holding you back, you know. Now, what about the Three of Wands? Expansion, vision, looking to the future. So, Temperance is about finding balance, but it's also about creating a sustainable vision for the future, you know. It's about not getting too caught up in the excitement of new possibilities, but instead, taking a more measured and thoughtful approach. It's about integrating your past experiences with your future aspirations and creating a plan that's both realistic and inspiring, you know. It's about finding a rhythm that works for you, a pace that allows you to grow and evolve without burning out. It's about understanding that true success is not about achieving everything all at once, but about making consistent progress over time. Does that make sense? And then we have the World, right? The end, Completion. So temperance after the world, it's like, okay, you've reached a certain level of completion, you've achieved a goal, you've come to the end of a cycle. Temperance is saying, now it's time to integrate that experience into your life, to find a way to carry those lessons forward without getting stuck in the past. It's about understanding that completion is not the end of the journey, but rather a stepping stone to something new. It's about celebrating your accomplishments, but also remaining humble and open to learning more. It's about finding a way to share your gifts with the world without getting caught up in ego or pride. And oh man, the devil. So after feeling so trapped, so restricted, now we have temperance to help us break free from those chains, right? But it's not about a sudden, dramatic escape, like with the tower. It's about a more gradual and mindful process of liberation. It's about identifying the unhealthy attachments and limiting beliefs that are holding you back, and then gently releasing them with compassion and understanding. It's about finding a middle ground between restriction and excess, about creating a life that's both disciplined and joyful. It's about understanding that true freedom comes from within, from mastering your own desires and impulses rather than being controlled by them. And finally, the tower. After all that destruction, all that upheaval, temperance is like the calm after the storm. It's about picking up the pieces, rebuilding your life, and finding a new sense of stability and peace. But it's not about going back to the way things were before. It's about creating something new and better, something that's more aligned with your true values and your authentic self. It's about learning from the past, but not being defined by it. It's about understanding that destruction is sometimes necessary for growth, and that even the most painful experiences can lead to profound transformation. So, tying it all back to the soul bond, temperance is asking you to find balance and harmony in this relationship, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it means finding a way to communicate more effectively, to compromise and meet each other halfway. Or maybe it means setting healthier boundaries, creating more space for yourselves as individuals. Or maybe it means accepting that this relationship is not meant to be a lifelong commitment, and that it's time to move on with love and gratitude. Whatever the situation, temperance is urging you to approach it with compassion, understanding, and a willingness to find common ground. But here's the thing, temperance isn't passive. It's not about just sitting back and waiting for things to get better. It's about actively creating balance, about making conscious choices that support your well-being and the well-being of those around you. It's about taking responsibility for your own energy and not letting yourself get dragged down by negativity or drama. It's about cultivating a sense of inner peace that allows you to navigate even the most challenging situations with grace and resilience. And remember our theme, releasing burdens and embracing change. With that smoky quartz energy, right? Temperance is all about flowing with the changes, about adapting to new circumstances, and about releasing any burdens that are weighing you down. It's about letting go of the need to control everything and trusting that the universe is guiding you towards your highest good. It's about finding a rhythm that works for you, a pace that allows you to grow and evolve without burning out. It is all about that flow. So overall, this combination of cards is telling you that you're on a path of healing, of integration, of finding balance in your life and in your relationships. You've been through a lot, you've faced some difficult truths, you've experienced some painful changes, but you're also incredibly strong, resilient, and capable of creating a life that's filled with joy, love, and purpose. Temperance is a reminder that you have the power to heal, to grow, and to create a more harmonious world for yourself and for others. You are guided, you are loved, and you are supported. Like this soul bond thing, it's not about finding your other half, it's about becoming whole yourself, and then choosing to share that wholeness with someone else. Whether that's this person or someone new, you are now so much more prepared. Okay, so Pile's smoky quartz butterfly, that is where I am going to leave your reading. Thank you guys so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope that this helped you, and I hope that you're feeling a little bit more clear, a little bit more balanced, and a little bit more hopeful about the future. Remember, the universe wants you to flow. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. capable. So, embrace that Queen of Pentacles energy and create the soul bond of your dreams. Wow, okay, so much to think about, right? The Queen of Pentacles really brings it down to earth after all that other stuff. But what's next? What other surprises are in store for this soul bond? I'm so excited to see what the next card reveals. Okay, so after all of that, we have the Eight of Wands. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the Eight of Wands is things are happening and they're happening fast. It's like a flurry of activity, a rush of energy. Things are moving and they're moving quickly. It can be a little overwhelming, but also super exciting. It's like buckle up because things are about to take off. In the context of a soul bond, this card can mean so many different things. It could mean that things are about to move very quickly between you and your person. Maybe you've been taking things slow, but now all of a sudden, everything's accelerating. It could also mean that there's a lot of communication happening. Maybe you're finally having those deep, meaningful conversations that you've been wanting to have. Or it could mean that you're about to embark on a journey together, either literally or figuratively. Maybe you're planning a trip together, or maybe you're about to start a new chapter in your relationship. This is going to be good. I think first and foremost, it's about being prepared for things to change and being prepared for them to change quickly. Are you ready for things to heat up? Are you ready for things to get intense? Are you ready to take things to the next level? Because if you're not, this card might feel a little bit scary. I think with this card, it's super important to stay grounded and to stay focused on what you want. Don't get swept away by the excitement and forget about your own needs and your own boundaries. It's okay to go with the flow, but it's also important to stay true to yourself and to make sure that you're not compromising your own values. Don't let anybody rush you into anything that you're not ready for. It could also be about external things going on. Maybe there are a lot of changes happening in your life right now, and those changes are impacting your relationship. Or maybe there's a lot of stress and pressure at work, and that's creating tension between you and your partner. It's important to recognize these external factors and to find ways to cope with them so that they don't derail your relationship. Okay, so how does this connect with what we've already seen? So we started with the moon, right? Which was all about those hidden illusions and subconscious patterns. So maybe those hidden things are about to be revealed, and they're about to be revealed quickly. Maybe you're about to uncover some secrets about yourself or about your partner that are going to change everything. Or maybe you're about to realize that you've been living in a fantasy world, and it's time to wake up and face reality. The Eight of Wands is the truth is coming, and it's coming fast. It could be that all of those subconscious feelings are about to explode. And then we had the Ten of Swords, that painful ending. So maybe that ending is about to happen quickly and suddenly. Maybe you've been dragging your feet about ending a relationship that's not serving you, but now the universe is stepping in to force your hand. Or maybe you've been afraid to let go of the past, but now you're being given the push you need to finally move on. The Eight of Wands is about cutting cords and moving forward, even if it's scary. But then we had the Star, that beautiful card of hope and healing. So the Eight of Wands is the manifestation of that hope. It's about taking those dreams and visions and turning them into reality and doing it quickly. It's about seizing opportunities and taking action, even if you're not sure where you're going. It's about trusting that the universe is guiding you towards something amazing. Maybe you've been dreaming of a better relationship, and now you're finally seeing the path forward. Or maybe you've been wanting to pursue a new passion, and now you're finally getting the chance. The Eight of Wands is encouraging you to take that leap of faith and go for it. We had the Queen of Pentacles, too, so what does that mean for the Eight of Wands? Okay, so let's talk about some practical steps you can take to harness this Eight of Wands energy. I think first and foremost, it's about being clear about what you want. What are your goals for your relationship? What are your goals for your life? What do you want to achieve? Because if you don't know what you want, it's going to be really hard to steer the ship when things start moving quickly. It's also about being organized and efficient. Are you managing your time effectively? Are you prioritizing your tasks? Are you delegating responsibilities? The Eight of Wands is about getting things done, and you can't do that if you're feeling overwhelmed and scattered. And it's about communicating clearly and effectively. Like, are you expressing your needs and your desires? Are you listening to your partner? Are you resolving conflicts quickly and efficiently? The Eight of Wands is about open and honest communication, and that's essential for any healthy relationship. I think it's also about being flexible and adaptable. Like, are you willing to change your plans if necessary? Are you willing to compromise? Are you willing to go with the flow? The Eight of Wands is about embracing change, and you can't do that if you're rigid and inflexible. So, like, maybe this means creating a vision board to clarify your goals. Or maybe it means learning some new time management techniques. Or maybe it means practicing active listening with your partner. Whatever it is, the Eight of Wands is encouraging you to take action and prepare yourself for the changes that are coming. Think about the things that might be holding you back from embracing this Eight of Wands energy. Are you afraid of change? Are you afraid of commitment? Are you afraid of getting hurt? The Eight of Wands is about facing your fears and taking risks. It's about trusting that you have the strength and the resilience to handle whatever comes your way. So, like, remember that Labradorite is all about transformation. So, how does the Eight of Wands energy help you transform your soul bond? I think it's about accelerating the process of change and helping you to move forward more quickly. It's about breaking through old patterns and creating new possibilities. It's about igniting your passion and helping you to create a more fulfilling relationship. Like, maybe you've been stuck in a rut, and the Eight of Wands is shaking things up and forcing you to reevaluate your priorities. Or maybe you've been afraid to take a risk, and the Eight of Wands is giving you the courage to step outside of your comfort zone. It's almost like the Labradorite is helping you to channel that transformative energy and to direct it towards your soul bond. It's about taking those big, cosmic ideas and turning them into concrete actions. It's about creating a relationship that's both exciting and sustainable. Okay, but what if things are already moving too fast? What if you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed out? What if you're afraid of losing control? The Eight of Wands can be a little bit intimidating, especially if you're someone who prefers to take things slow and steady. But I think it's important to remember that you always have a choice. You don't have to let the energy of the Eight of Wands control you. You can choose to slow things down, to take a step back, to reassess your priorities. It's all about finding a balance between embracing change and staying grounded. I think it's also important to communicate your needs to your partner. If you're feeling overwhelmed, let them know. If you need to slow things down, tell them. It's okay to ask for what you need, and it's important to remember that your partner is there to support you. You are so worthy, and you are so capable. So, like, embrace that Eight of Wands energy, but do it in a way that feels right for you. Wow, okay, so much to consider, right? The Eight of Wands really throws a wrench in the works, or maybe it speeds things up in an exciting way. But what's next? How does all of this come together? I'm so excited to see what the next card reveals. Okay, so, like, after all of that craziness, all that fast movement, we have the High Priestess. Oh my gosh, this is huge. Okay, so the High Priestess, she is all about intuition, she's all about secrets, she is all about the subconscious, right? She's the keeper of all the mysteries. It's like, she knows way more than she lets on, and she's not afraid to go deep. She is the feminine divine, pure and simple. In the context of a soul bond, this card can mean so much. It's like, what is going on beneath the surface that you are not seeing? I think, like, first and foremost, it's about trusting your intuition seriously. Like, are you listening to that little voice inside of you that's trying to guide you? Or are you ignoring it because you're afraid of what it might tell you? Because the High Priestess is here to say, like, girl, listen up. You know the truth, even if you don't want to admit it to yourself. So I think with this card, it's super important to pay attention to your dreams, to your gut feelings, to the synchronicities that are showing up in your life. The universe is trying to communicate with you, and the High Priestess is helping you to decipher the message. It could also be about secrets. Like, are there secrets that you're keeping from yourself? Or are there secrets that your partner is keeping from you? Because the High Priestess is all about unveiling the truth, even if it's painful. It's like she's not afraid to shine a light on the shadows and expose what's been hidden in the dark. It might also just be a need for quiet, to reflect and center yourself amidst this chaos. Okay, so how does this connect with everything else we've already seen? Okay, so we started with the moon, right? Which was all about those hidden illusions and subconscious patterns. The High Priestess digs into that, like she takes the moon and says, okay, you see the illusions, let's break them down. It's like those hidden things are about to come to the surface, and the High Priestess is helping you to navigate them with grace and wisdom. Or she's showing you there are layers deeper than you thought possible. Maybe those subconscious feelings aren't what you expect. Then we had the Ten of Swords, that painful ending. The High Priestess is about understanding why that ending happened. Like, what lessons did you learn from that experience? What did you gain? How did it make you stronger? Because the High Priestess knows that every ending is also a beginning, and she's helping you to see the potential for growth and transformation. It might be time to grieve something about this bond, but it's also a great moment for radical acceptance. And then we had the Star, that beautiful card of hope and healing. So the High Priestess is like the inner source of that hope. It's not just about wishing for a better future, it's about actively creating it by connecting with your inner power. And it's not just about healing from the past, it's about integrating those experiences into your present self and using them to guide your future. It's almost like the Star is the beautiful dream, but the High Priestess is the practical magic you need to make it real. Then we had the Queen of Pentacles, too, like, how does the High Priestess influence that grounded energy? Well, the Queen of Pentacles is all about creating stability and security in the physical world, right? But the High Priestess is about creating stability and security in the spiritual world. She knows that true abundance comes from within, and she's helping you to cultivate that inner wealth. It's like you can have all the money and resources in the world, but if you don't have a strong sense of self-worth and inner peace, it's all meaningless. And the Eight of Wands. So everything is moving so fast, but the High Priestess whispers, are you sure this is right? It's about slowing down and trusting your intuition amidst all the chaos. It's about making sure that you're not just getting swept away by the excitement, but that you're actually making conscious choices that align with your highest good. It's like, don't just jump on the bandwagon because everyone else is doing it. Take a moment to pause, to reflect, and to ask yourself, is this really what I want? Okay, so let's dive a little deeper into this intuition thing, because I think that's really key here. How do you actually access your intuition? How do you know if it's really your intuition talking or just your fears and insecurities? 'Cause it can be tricky, right? I think one of the best ways is to practice mindfulness. Take a few minutes each day to just sit in silence and observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Pay attention to the sensations in your body. Notice where you're holding tension. Notice what feels good and what feels bad. The more you practice being present in your body, the easier it will be to distinguish between your intuition and your ego. Another thing you can do is to ask yourself questions and then pay attention to the first answer that comes to your mind. Don't overthink it, don't try to analyze it, just trust that first impulse. It's usually the most accurate. You can also try using tools like tarot cards, oracle cards, or pendulums to help you connect with your intuition. But remember, these are just tools. They're not meant to tell you what to do. They're meant to help you access your own inner wisdom. And keep a journal, just write and write and write and see what comes out. And then the secrets, oh my gosh, the secrets. What secrets are you keeping from yourself? What are you afraid to admit? Are you afraid to admit that you're unhappy in your relationship? Are you afraid to admit that you're not attracted to your partner anymore? Are you afraid to admit that you want something different? It can be really scary to confront these truths, but it's also incredibly liberating. Because once you admit them, you can start to do something about them. If you're keeping secrets from your partner, why are you doing that? Are you afraid of hurting their feelings? Are you afraid of their reaction? Are you afraid of losing them? It's important to be honest with your partner, but it's also important to be compassionate. Like, you don't have to blurt everything out all at once. You can take your time and ease into it. But the more honest you are with each other, the stronger your connection will be. Okay, so what are some practical steps you can take to work with this high priestess energy? I think first, seriously, make time for meditation or just quiet reflection, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. Create a sacred space in your home where you can connect with your inner self. Light a candle, burn some incense, put on some calming music. Do whatever makes you feel peaceful and grounded, and practice active listening with your partner. When they're talking, really listen to what they're saying, not just with your ears, but with your heart. Try to understand their perspective, even if you don't agree with it. That's where the transformation lies. This card is saying there are things you have to feel to believe. You have to be still to hear them. You have to go within to know them. And like that Labradorite said at the start, it's time for transformation. Wow, okay, so much to unpack here. The High Priestess is really challenging you to go deep and to trust your intuition. But what does it all mean? What's the final piece of the puzzle? I'm so excited, and maybe a little scared to see what the next card reveals. Okay, so after ALLL of that, after the High Priestess and the secrets, oh my gosh, we have the Eight of Pentacles, wow. Okay, so the Eight of Pentacles is like work, right? But it's good work, it's focused work, it's dedicated work. It's about mastering your craft, honing your skills, and putting in the effort to achieve your goals. It's like you're not just going through the motions, you're actually putting your heart and soul into what you're doing. And in the context of a soul bond, this card is like, yes. Like, this is a call to action. It's about putting in the work to make the relationship thrive. It's about being intentional about your connection, being dedicated to each other, and being willing to grow together. I think first and foremost, it's about recognizing that soul bonds aren't just magical, like, they don't just happen, they require effort. Like, you can't just sit back and expect everything to be perfect. You have to actively participate in the relationship, you have to communicate, you have to compromise, and you have to be willing to work through challenges. Because this card is saying, like, hey, you've got something special here, but it's not going to flourish on its own. You gotta put in the time and the energy to nurture it. It could also be about specific skills that you need to develop. Like, maybe you need to work on your communication skills, maybe you need to work on your conflict resolution skills, or maybe you need to work on your ability to be vulnerable and open with your partner. Whatever it is, the Eight of Pentacles is encouraging you to identify those areas where you can improve and to start putting in the effort to do so. Okay, so how does this connect with everything else we've already seen? Oh my gosh, okay, so we started with the moon, right, which was all about those hidden illusions and subconscious patterns. So maybe the Eight of Pentacles is about working to uncover those hidden things and to bring them into the light. It's about being willing to confront your own shadows and to work through those patterns that are holding you back. It's like, you can't just ignore those issues, you have to actively address them. It's like the Eight of Pentacles is saying, okay, you see the illusions, now what are you going to do about it? It's about taking that awareness and turning it into action. And it might be hard work, but it's going to be so worth it in the end. Then we had the Ten of Swords, that painful ending. So maybe the Eight of Pentacles is about working to heal from that pain and to rebuild your life or your relationship. It's about putting in the effort to move forward, even when it's hard. Like, you can't just wallow in your sorrow, you have to actively choose to heal and to grow. And it's not going to happen overnight, it's going to take time and effort, but the Eight of Pentacles is reminding you that you have the strength and the resilience to do it. Like, maybe you need to seek therapy or counseling to help you process your emotions, or maybe you need to focus on self-care and rebuilding your self-esteem. Whatever it is, the Eight of Pentacles is about taking those practical steps to heal and to move on. And then we had the Star, that beautiful card of hope and healing. So the Eight of Pentacles is about working to manifest that hope into reality. It's about taking those dreams and visions and turning them into tangible goals and actions. It's like, you can't just wish for a better future, you have to actively create it. And it's going to take hard work and dedication, but the Eight of Pentacles is reminding you that you have the power to do it. It's like maybe you need to start setting some specific goals for your relationship, or maybe you need to start pursuing those passions that bring you joy and fulfillment. Whatever it is, the Eight of Pentacles is about taking that hope and turning it into action. We also had the Queen of Pentacles, with the stability and the abundance, so it's about putting in the work to cultivate that stability and abundance in your relationship. This is a queen we're talking about, after all. It's about being responsible with your finances, creating a comfortable home environment, and nurturing each other's needs. Like, you can't just expect those things to happen on their own. You have to actively work to create them. It's like, maybe you need to start budgeting together, or maybe you need to start planning some fun activities that you can do together. Whatever it is, the Eight of Pentacles is about taking those practical steps to create a stable and abundant relationship. And then there's the Eight of Wands. With all that fast-moving energy, the Eight of Pentacles is about channeling that energy into something productive, something useful, something tangible. So, like, maybe you've been feeling overwhelmed by all the changes that are happening, and the Eight of Pentacles is reminding you to slow down, to focus, and to put in the work to manage those changes effectively. Like, you can't just let things happen to you. You have to actively take control and steer the ship in the direction you want to go. And the High Priestess. Oh my gosh, with all of that intuition, it's about putting in the work to understand your intuition and to use it to guide your relationship. To trust yourself and really do the work. Okay, so, like, what are some practical ways you can use this Eight of Pentacles energy in your soul bond? Okay, so first, I really think, like, set some goals for your relationship. Like, what do you want to achieve together? Do you want to improve your communication? Do you want to deepen your intimacy? Do you want to create a more stable financial future? Whatever it is, write it down and create a plan of action. You gotta get this out of your head and into the world. Second, schedule regular date nights. Like, make time for each other, even when you're busy. Go out to dinner, see a movie, take a walk in the park, or just stay home and cuddle on the couch. The important thing is to connect and to remind each other why you're together. That's the work. Third, practice active listening. When your partner is talking, really listen to what they're saying. Put down your phone, make eye contact, and give them your full attention. And try to understand their perspective, even if you don't agree with it. Fourth, be willing to compromise. Relationships are all about give and take. You're not always going to get your way, and that's okay. Be willing to meet your partner halfway and to find solutions that work for both of you. That's the dedicated, intentional work. And fifth, celebrate your successes. When you achieve a goal, or when you overcome a challenge, take time to celebrate your accomplishments. Remind yourselves how far you've come and how much you've grown together. This is really huge. This card is saying that you're almost there, but you have to keep going. You have to keep putting in the work. What if you feel like you're already putting in all the work and it's still not enough? What if you feel like you're the only one who's trying? What if you're starting to feel resentful and burned out? Like, it's important to remember that you can't do it all on your own. Relationships are a team effort, and if your partner isn't willing to put in the work too, then it's not going to work. This could be a sign that you need to have a serious conversation with your partner about your needs and expectations. And if they're not willing to meet you halfway, then it might be time to consider whether this relationship is really right for you. It's okay to walk away from a situation that's not serving you, even if it's painful. Remember that Labradorite is all about transformation, and the Eight of Pentacles is about putting in the work to make that transformation happen. So, like, embrace the challenge, be dedicated to your growth, and trust that you have the power to create the soul bond of your dreams. Wow, okay, so much to think about, right? The Eight of Pentacles really brings it down to earth and reminds you that soul bonds require effort. But what's the next step? Where do you go from here? I am so excited to see what the next card reveals. Okay, so after all of that, after all those twists and turns, all that work, all that intuition, we finally arrive at the Fool. Oh my gosh. This is so exciting. Okay, so the Fool is like the ultimate blank slate, right? He's standing at the edge of a cliff, ready to take a leap of faith into the unknown. He's got his little bag of belongings, his trusty dog by his side, and a whole lot of optimism in his heart. It's like he doesn't know where he's going, but he's not afraid. He's just ready for the adventure. And in the context of your soul bond, this card is like, yes, this is it. This is the beginning of something new and amazing. I think first and foremost, it's about embracing the unknown seriously. Like, after all that we've been through, after all those hidden things, all those painful endings, all that hope and healing, all that work, it's time to just let go and trust. Like, stop trying to control everything, stop trying to figure everything out, and just surrender to the journey. Because the Fool knows that the best things in life are often the things we don't expect. It could also be about a literal new beginning. Like, maybe you're starting a new relationship, or maybe you're entering a new phase in an existing relationship. Whatever it is, the Fool is here to remind you that anything is possible. You have the power to create the soul bond of your dreams, but you have to be willing to take a risk. I think with this card, it's super important to stay open-minded and curious. Like, don't be afraid to try new things, to explore new possibilities, and to step outside of your comfort zone. The Fool is all about experimentation and discovery, and he's encouraging you to do the same. Okay, so how does this connect with everything else we've already seen? Oh my gosh, okay, so we started with the moon, right? Which was all about those hidden illusions and subconscious patterns. So maybe the Fool is about breaking free from those illusions and embracing a new perspective. It's about seeing the world with fresh eyes and recognizing that anything is possible. It's like you've been living in the dark for too long, and now it's time to step into the light. The Fool is about shedding those old beliefs and embracing a new sense of freedom and possibility. Then we had the Ten of Swords, that painful ending. So maybe the Fool is about starting over after that ending. It's about picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, and taking that first step on a new path. It's like you've been through hell and back, but you've survived. And now you have the opportunity to create a new life, a new relationship, a new future. The Fool is about resilience and rebirth, and he's reminding you that you are stronger than you think. And then we had the Star, that beautiful card of hope and healing. So the Fool is about embodying that hope and bringing it into the world. It's about taking those dreams and visions and turning them into reality. It's like you've been dreaming of a better future, and now it's time to make it happen. The Fool is about action and manifestation, and he's encouraging you to take that leap of faith and create the life you've always wanted. We also had the Queen of Pentacles, with that stability and abundance. So, the Fool is about taking that foundation and building something new and exciting upon it. It's about using your resources wisely, but also being willing to take risks and to step outside of your comfort zone. It's like you've created a solid base for yourself, and now it's time to explore new horizons. The Fool is about growth and expansion, and he's encouraging you to embrace the possibilities that lie ahead. And then there's the Eight of Wands, with all that fast-moving energy. The Fool is about surfing that wave of energy and using it to propel you forward. It's about embracing the change and trusting that everything is happening for a reason. It's like things are moving quickly, and you might feel a little overwhelmed, but the Fool is reminding you to just go with the flow and see where it takes you. The Fool is about trust and surrender, and he's encouraging you to let go of control and allow the universe to guide you. And the High Priestess, with all that intuition. The Fool is about trusting that inner voice and following its guidance, even when it doesn't make sense to anyone else. To really trust the guidance you're being given. And the Eight of Pentacles with all that work. The Fool reminds us that even with all the work, we have to take the leap, have faith in ourselves, and remember that it's about the journey, not the destination. Okay, so, what are some practical ways you can embody this Fool energy in your soul bond? Okay, so first, seriously embrace spontaneity. Do something out of the ordinary. Take a day trip to a place you've never been, try a new restaurant, or just do something silly and fun together. The Fool is all about adventure, so don't be afraid to mix things up a bit. Second, let go of expectations. Like, stop trying to control everything and just allow things to unfold naturally. Trust that the universe has a plan for you, even if you can't see it right now. The Fool is all about trust and surrender, so embrace the unknown and see where it takes you. Third, be open to new experiences. Like, try new things together, whether it's a new hobby, a new activity, or a new way of communicating. The Fool is all about experimentation and discovery, so don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. Fourth, follow your intuition. Like, listen to that little voice inside of you that's guiding you. Trust your gut feelings and don't be afraid to take risks based on your intuition. The Fool is all about trusting your inner wisdom, so let it guide you on your journey. And fifth, have fun. Like, remember that relationships are supposed to be enjoyable. Don't take things too seriously and make sure to laugh together often. The Fool is all about joy and playfulness, so embrace that energy and create a relationship that's full of fun and laughter. But what if you're scared? What if you're afraid of taking that leap of faith? What if you're afraid of failing? Like, it's important to remember that fear is a natural part of the process. Everyone feels scared sometimes, especially when they're stepping into the unknown. But the key is to not let that fear paralyze you. Acknowledge it, feel it, and then let it go. Because you are stronger than you think, and you are capable of anything you set your mind to. And remember that Labradorite sun crystal, right? The one that represents transformation. The Fool is the embodiment of that transformation. It's about taking all those experiences, all those lessons, all those challenges, and using them to create a new and better version of yourself, and a new and better version of your relationship. It's like you've been through the fire, and now you're emerging as a phoenix, stronger and more resilient than ever before. So, like, embrace that Fool energy, trust your intuition, take that leap of faith, and create the soul bond of your dreams. You are so worthy, you are so capable, and you are so loved. Wow, okay, so much to think about, right? The Fool really wraps it all up and sends you on your way with a sense of hope and excitement. This is the beginning. This is your time to shine. Remember what Queen Natasha said, it's unwritten. So go out there and create something amazing. I know you can do it. I believe in you. You got this. right? Because it's like you're already struggling to get by, and now someone is actively making it harder for you. Or maybe you're the one who's taking something that doesn't belong to you, you know. Like maybe you're taking credit for someone else's work, or maybe you're using someone else's resources without their permission, or maybe you're just not being grateful for what you have. And that's creating a sense of guilt and shame, right? Because you know that you're not being honest, and that's making it harder to feel good about yourself. And also, you are operating in a lack mentality, right? Okay, so what about the Three of Cups? This is a little trickier, right? Because that's all about celebration and community. But maybe the Seven of Swords is showing up to warn you that, like, not everyone in your circle is trustworthy, you know. Like maybe there's someone in your group who's talking behind your back, or who's spreading rumors, or who's just not being a true friend. And that's creating a sense of unease, right? Because you're not sure who you can trust, and that's making it harder to relax and enjoy yourself. Or, you know what else it could be? Maybe you're the one who's being a bad friend, you know. Like maybe you're not being supportive of your friends, or maybe you're being judgmental, or maybe you're just not being present. And that's creating a distance, right? Because your friends can sense that you're not fully invested in the relationship, and that's making them hesitant to open up to you. It's about being honest in your friendships. And then we have the Queen of Cups, right? And she's all about emotional honesty and intuition. So maybe this Seven of Swords is a nudge to, like, really trust your gut, you know? Like, if you're getting a feeling that something isn't right, don't ignore it, you know? Pay attention to your intuition and listen to what it's telling you. Because the Queen of Cups is like whispering in your ear. Something is off here, pay attention. And it's about trusting that voice, not second-guessing. The Queen of Cups knows. And then the Seven of Wands, that card of defending your ground, right? Maybe the Seven of Swords is showing up because, like, someone is trying to undermine your position, you know. Like maybe they're spreading lies about you, or maybe they're trying to sabotage your efforts, or maybe they're just not respecting your authority. And that's making you feel like you have to constantly be on guard, right? Because you're afraid that someone is going to try to take you down. Or, you know what else it could be? Maybe you're the one who's being dishonest in order to protect your position, you know. Like, maybe you're exaggerating your accomplishments, or maybe you're hiding your mistakes, or maybe you're just not being transparent. And that's creating a sense of anxiety, right? Because you're afraid that someone is going to find out the truth, and that's going to damage your reputation. And okay, finally, the Lovers, right? This is big. This is about choices in love. So maybe the Seven of Swords is showing up because, like, there's some dishonesty in your relationship, you know. Like maybe one of you is keeping secrets from the other, or maybe one of you is being unfaithful, or maybe you are just not being fully honest about your feelings, and that will damage the relationship, right? Because it's like, you can't build a strong foundation on lies, you know. So it's like, the Lovers is all about choices, and this is a choice about whether to be honest or not. Choose wisely. Or you know what else it could be? Maybe this is about your choice of partner, and the Seven of Swords is warning you that this person isn't who they seem. It's like, there are red flags waving and you need to pay attention. It's like a warning almost. So what does all this mean for you practically? Well, I think the first thing is to really take a close look at your relationships and see if there's any dishonesty lurking beneath the surface, you know. Are you being honest with yourself and with others? Are you trusting your gut? Are you setting healthy boundaries? And if you find that there is some dishonesty going on, then you need to address it, you know. You need to have an honest conversation with the person involved, and you need to decide whether or not you're willing to continue the relationship. It's a hard choice to make. It's not easy, I know, but it's so important for your own well-being. The Jade is helping you see the truth. You know, it's about illumination, so let it shine on these situations. And remember, all of this is about seeking harmony, right? And you can't have harmony without honesty. This is like a big piece of the puzzle, but it's not the whole picture, okay? There's still more to uncover, and I'm so excited to see what the next cards reveal. Okay, so the High Priestess. Wow, what a card to end on. After all that drama, all those twists and turns, the High Priestess is like stepping in to bring some serious clarity and guidance. She's all about intuition, inner wisdom, and trusting your gut, right? So it's like she's saying, okay, you've been through a lot, but you have all the answers you need inside of you. How does that connect with everything else, though? Let's really break it down, yeah. So first, that Five of Wands, that conflict, right? Well, the High Priestess is like, she's not going to jump into the ring and start fighting, you know? She's not about that. She's more about, like, stepping back, observing the situation, and understanding what's really going on beneath the surface. It's like she's saying, before you react, take a deep breath, tune into your intuition, and see what's really driving this conflict. And maybe, just maybe, the conflict isn't even worth fighting, you know? Maybe it's just a distraction from something more important. The High Priestess helps you see that bigger picture, yeah. And what about the Five of Pentacles, that feeling of lack? Oh, the High Priestess has some serious medicine for that. Because she knows that true abundance comes from within, not from external sources, you know? She's like, you already have everything you need. You have your inner wisdom, your intuition, your connection to the divine. That's your true wealth. And she's encouraging you to tap into that inner wealth, to cultivate a sense of gratitude for what you already have, and to trust that the universe will always provide for you. It's about shifting your focus from what you lack to what you already possess. It's a total game changer. And then there's the Three of Cups, that celebration and community, right? The High Priestess is like, yes, celebrate your connections, enjoy your friendships, but also be discerning about who you let into your inner circle. You know. She's reminding you to trust your intuition when it comes to relationships, to surround yourself with people who support your growth and who honor your truth, and to distance yourself from those who drain your energy or who try to dim your light. It's about creating a community that nourishes your soul, a community that celebrates that journey of growth with you. Now the Queen of Cups, she's already so intuitive and emotionally intelligent, right? So how does the High Priestess amplify that? Well, I think the High Priestess is like taking the Queen's emotional wisdom to a whole new level, you know? It's like she's helping you to connect with your higher self, to access your deepest intuition, and to trust your inner guidance completely. It's about knowing that you have all the answers you need within you, and that you can always rely on your own inner wisdom to navigate any situation. So the Queen is like your emotional compass, and the High Priestess is calibrating it to the highest level. So cool. And then we have the Seven of Wands, that card of defending your ground, right? The High Priestess is like, okay, it's important to stand up for what you believe in, but it's also important to choose your battles wisely. You know, she's reminding you to conserve your energy, to not get caught up in petty arguments, and to only fight for what truly matters to you. And she's also encouraging you to trust your intuition when it comes to conflict, to know when to speak up and when to stay silent, and to always act with integrity and compassion. Know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, you know. The High Priestess knows. And the Lovers, right? Those big choices about love and relationships. The High Priestess is like, this is where your intuition is absolutely key. She's like, don't let your head make the decisions, let your heart guide you, but make sure your heart is aligned with your soul. It's about choosing relationships that are based on mutual respect, honesty, and genuine connection, and about walking away from those that are toxic or draining, even if it's hard. It's about honoring your own needs and desires, and about creating relationships that support your highest good. It's making sure you are both on the same path, and it feels right. Okay, but what about that tricky Seven of Swords, that sneakiness and deception? This is where the High Priestess really shines, right? Because she's like, okay, there might be some dishonesty going on here, but don't get caught up in the drama. Instead, focus on your own integrity and trust that the truth will always come to light. You know, she's reminding you to be honest with yourself and with others, to set clear boundaries, and to protect yourself from those who might try to take advantage of you. But she's also encouraging you to have compassion for those who are struggling with dishonesty, to recognize that they may be acting out of fear or insecurity, and to offer them understanding and support if possible. It's a tricky balance, but she helps you to walk that line with grace. The High Priestess illuminates the shadows, so you can see what's really going on, but she also reminds you to stay in your own light, to not get dragged down by the darkness of others. So good. So, what does all this mean for you, practically? How can you bring the High Priestess energy into your life, starting right now? Well, I think the first thing is to create some space for quiet reflection, Turn off the TV, put away your phone, and just sit in silence for a few minutes each day. Meditate, journal, or simply listen to your own thoughts and feelings, because the answer is inside you. And then, start paying attention to your intuition. What is your gut telling you about the situations in your life? What feels right and what feels wrong? Don't dismiss those feelings, explore them, and trust that they're guiding you in the right direction. It's like learning a new language, the language of your soul. And the jade crystal, it is amplifying that intuition like a direct line to your higher self. Keep it close, let it illuminate your path, and trust that it's helping you to see the truth. Practice self-care and do something every day that nourishes your soul. Read a book, take a bath, go for a walk in nature, or spend time with loved ones. It is about filling your own cup so that you have something to give to others. And remember, you are worthy of love, abundance, and happiness. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The High Priestess is like holding a mirror up to your soul, showing you your own beauty, your own strength, and your own potential. She's reminding you that you are a powerful, intuitive, and wise being, and that you have everything you need to create a life that's aligned with your soul's purpose. So trust yourself, follow your intuition, and know that you're always being guided and supported, and that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. With the illumination of the jade crystal and the wisdom of the High Priestess, you've got this. It's like this reading has been a journey, right? But it's a journey that's led you back to yourself, to your own inner wisdom, and to your own power. And that's the most beautiful destination of all. I am so excited to see what you create, knowing you have all this guidance to take with you.